Hey, everybody. It's Tom Gulley here on the Tom Gulley Show, here with our cold open tonight. Oh, it's a very special, special night because we have with us tonight the man, the myth, the media legend, our musical director, Leon Kennedy. Yes, the man who brings you all of the fabulous Tom Gulley Show songs. By the way, I'm going to play a couple of those songs in just a second, and then he'll join us at the start of the show. And the greatest thing in the world about me playing those songs means I get to explain why we do the cold open. It's because we're also an audio podcast, and if you just play music at the start for 6 minutes, audio podcast people go, hey man, what gives? I came here for a podcast. This sounds like some kind of an R&B concert from the 70s. Which my response would be, what's so bad about that? I mean, there's nothing bad about that. But at any rate, if you are here for the audio podcast, then just fast forward through the music if you don't like it. Although I do recommend listening to it. There's some real toe tappers. And then if you're here for our live streaming show, this is where you slowly file into the chat room so we can be interactive. Because, of course, the buzzword of the day is interactivity. We'd hate to have a show and not have it be interactive. Why? That's so 1998. Anyway, without further ado, I think we should play a couple of these awesome tunes. And then we'll have our special guest, Leon Kennedy, and we will talk all aspects of AI. The creativity aspect, the is it bad for humanity aspect, the why can't I get it to cure the common cold or make me a new and delicious flavor of Pringles. We'll cover everything. Now, if you could just give me a second to transform this into stereo audio. We'll play a couple tunes, and we'll be right back.
Early in the morning, daylight coming through. Coffee on the console, red lights next to blue. Got a voice that settles in, easy, calm and true. The man from Gulley, next
Hey, everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking tonight? Big night. We have a special guest in the house. Not just a special guest, the special guest, Leon Kennedy himself, our musical director, the guy who makes all these songs. And we're going to talk about AI and all the ins, all the outs. You're going to love it. Before we get to that, please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all the free things that you can do to help us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-knowing algorithm. We have super chats. We have memberships. I swear to God we do. No one's used them in days and days and days, but we do have those things. They do exist. You can gift memberships. You can also do the PayPal. That's where you get the most. I get the most. You give the most. And here, I even have the little scroll at the bottom. Yeah, look at that. All of this stuff is in our YouTube description, including the link to get all these songs that Leon Kennedy has created. And they're all there. You can go to the TomGulleyShow.com. There's podcasts there. Our merch store is there. Plus, our audio podcast is available on Podbean and on Apple Music and wherever fine podcasts are given away for free. Very quickly to our chat room. Turkatron is here. Always glad to see her. I still need the names of some awesome taquerias. Anyway. And Crappy at Life is here. Says H2BH. We just played the Happy to Be Here song. And who created that song? Let's just go ahead and bring him on right now. The man, the myth, the media legend. Yes, there he is. The wizard himself, Leon Kennedy. Welcome to the show, Leon.
I'm here. Can you hear me, Tom?
Oh, I can. You're coming in perfectly.
Great. I'm happy to be here. I hope you're happy to be here as well.
I am always happy to be here. Always happy to be here. Now, you have a distinct accent, so you're from the UK. If I don't want to dox anybody, but you're from the UK, right?
From the UK, West Midlands. You already know what football team is nearby. It's Stoke, so that'll give you a good idea. Stoke is a pretty small place.
Yeah, but Stoke used to be a really good team back in the day.
Did they?
Oh, God, yes.
I don't know enough about football, Tom, so you'll have to tell me.
Well, back in the day, Stoke was, they had Gordon Banks and they had Peter Shilton and stuff. They made the FA Cup finals a bunch of times. Yeah, back in the day, back in my day, they used to be really good.
I just want to know, Tom, I'm very curious. How does an American like yourself come to support Arsenal? That's very strange.
Okay, so I started playing what we call soccer back in 1975. I was just talking to my mom about this morning, and that's when Pele came here to the United States. And so we had some TV shows that were on, not many, that would show a little bit of soccer when ESPN first started. One of the shows that was on before that was called Soccer Made in Germany. And it was on PBS, our public broadcasting. It was only an hour, so they took a 90-minute game and put it into an hour. And one of the first sort of matches that I remember seeing was Arsenal versus Valencia, which was the championship of what at the time was called the European Cup Winners' Cup, what now is called the Europa League. And so I fell in love with Arsenal in 1979. There's the story.
That's great. It's unusual because you don't get Brits that follow American sports, like what we call American football or basketball or baseball or anything like that, because it's not broadcast here. I mean, we only had, when I was growing up, we had 4 TV channels. Barely anyone had what you would call cable. We just didn't have that, so we had 4 channels, and none of them played American sports. It would be British football, and that was all you would get. So that's quite strange. I find that fascinating, actually.
Here you go, right out of the gate. Turkatron, happy belated birthday, Turkatron. I don't know whether that's for me or for you, but anyway,
belated birthday. Was it your birthday, Tom?
It's always somebody's birthday sometime. We'll just assume that's for Christmas. Terry Nee says Vikings. I don't know the Vikings. Soccer was a club at school in 1976. Yeah, a lot of the teams were not official school teams. They were clubs. Like you'd have the stamp club or the debate club.
Oh, yeah.
And so they'd have a soccer club, and people thought that was bad. And I'm like, no, most soccer teams are actually clubs. So what do we care? Let's see. Your Turkatron says it was for me. Oh, your birthday was last week. Well, that's
happy birthday, and thanks for donating for your birthday.
Yes, that's very nice, Turkatron. There's things I could say, but I don't want to dox anybody or anything. But Turkatron knows where all the good tacos are at. That's all I have to say about it. Okay, so you've created all these songs for the show. And thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. They are all, I mean, if they sucked, I'd be going, so you created all the songs for this show.
All those bad songs.
And then I wouldn't say anything after that. But every single one of them, from the very first one, they call me Mr. Gulley, to all of them are so good. How did you get interested in the task of creating songs in general? And then just fill us in on what you have to do to make these songs, because I hear a lot of AI songs. Not that many of them are that good or seem that distinct to me. So what do you do to make them like this? Because they're all very, very different.
I'm not incredibly musical. My family is somewhat on my mother's side. My grandma used to play piano. And my granddad was a singer. I sing very poorly, and I do play piano, but I wouldn't say that music is one of my biggest hobbies. I'm not that good at it. And I was actually thinking the other day, like, how did I even get to doing these Tom Gulley songs? Like, I was driving around and I was thinking to myself, because I was listening to them. I actually do listen to them in my car. And I still think my favorite is the first one. The Tom Gulley theme show, theme as I call it. And I was listening to that, and I was just thinking, how did I actually get into doing this? And then I remembered it was the song that you always played. You know, They Call Me Mr. Lucky.
Yes.
And I remember being in my kitchen and just singing that, but I was singing the lyrics as They Call Me Mr. Gulley instead. You know, They Call Me Mr. Gulley.
Yeah.
And I just decided to, open up the AI thing, and I just made up some lyrics for it. I decided a genre. I decided like funk, 70s Motown, a bit of jazz. Later on, the later songs are a bit more disco inspired. And I got quite lucky with that one. It didn't take too many tries to get right until I found one that was really good. And that was the one I sent to you, the first one I sent. And I was really happy with that. And I put that in my car and I listen to it all the time, because it always just put me in a good mood, because it's a good song, isn't it? It's
oh God, yes. And they're all extremely appropriate too. Like even the lyrics, because I'm a big lyrics guy. They call me Mr. Gulley. I've got something for your ear. That when I heard just that portion of it, I'm like, okay, I'm in love with this already.
Yeah, it's not exactly the music that I'm focusing on. Like, I do have a little bit of musical talent, and I do dictate to the AI what I want musically, but the lyrics is more me. Because I'm at uni at the moment. I'm doing an English degree. Okay. English has always been my subject. It's what I've been best at. So when I do lyrics, I actually put a lot of thought into them. There's one song I remember telling you about that I've not actually sent to you, because it's so genre different. It's like a post-grunge 90s song.
Yeah.
And it would just be weird, because it wouldn't fit in with the other ones. But even though I kind of made that song as a bit of a joke, it wasn't. It was just me messing around, trying out different genres and stuff. The amount of time I put into thinking of those lyrics, and how every single lyric means something. None of them waste space in that song, even though I was just writing it for a bit of fun. So yeah, the whole process of it is basically just me coming up with an idea or thinking of something. Like I said, like They Call Me Mr. Gulley was just from the song that you always played.
Yeah.
And then I just came up with my own lyrics and my own version of that song. And it's been the same with the other ones. I'll just think of something, I'll come up with the lyrics, I'll go to the AI, I'll put in the genres, it'll come up with some stuff. A lot of it's bad. Sometimes it's really bad, and I just have to keep trying and trying and trying and trying until I get something that I'm like, no, this is really good, and I can listen to this forever. Like The Night the Spiders Attacked was a really difficult one.
It's so good, though.
And it's one of the best. It is one of the best. It took so long to get that right because the AI, it is like you've got a team of musicians with you and you've got to argue with them constantly because they want to take things in their own direction sometimes. It is like you've got, like real people, but they're not real. They're an AI band, effectively. And sometimes they'll just completely screw up the lyrics. Like, it doesn't matter how many times I type in Tom Gulley, sometimes the AI will just read it as Ted Gulley. And I'm like, that's not what I typed. I did not write Ted Gulley. I wrote Tom Gulley.
Maybe there should be a song called Ted Gulley just for that reason. But
yeah.
But the thing is, and we talked about it. We chatted about it in email. I'm not. See, you're the musical director. I'm not going to ever tell you anything of do this, do that. I want this, I want that. Never, ever. You're in charge of it. That's your thing. But I don't think that this is the kind of show that it would be bad if the music was a little bit schizophrenic and there was 92 different kinds of music just because you one day decided, well, when you did The Day Tom Gulley Shot Me Down.
Yeah, that one's totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, but it works because this show is so schizophrenic. It could be nail clippers, jock straps, famous TV show. It's all over the place. But so, like, the specific instructions that you give it to how much control do you have over, say, the tempo, the kind of music, and then how much control? I mean, what do you have to do to get the words the way you want?
People describe AI art in any aspect, AI pictures, AI writing, AI music, anything like that as a slot machine. And I think that's a really apt way of putting it, because sometimes you are literally pulling that lever and just hoping that the sevens line up. Because you don't know. Like, with the Tom Gulley songs, I always try and stick with that, 70s Motown kind of theme. And I think that works best, although, we can't have other stuff. I'll probably send you that other song at the end of the show, actually, because it is actually really good. But yeah, you do with Suno have quite a lot of control over it. But yeah, like I said, it's a slot machine. You don't know. So because I can put in 70s, I can put in Motown, and it will generally stick to that, but sometimes it's just like, you'll get a song and you think, no, it's really minor or something, and you'll try and fix it by put it in a major key, do this particular chord progression, put the BPM up, and sometimes it just won't. Sometimes it will. You don't know with AI. It's strange, and I'm assuming this is just like a growing process with the way that AI works at the moment, and these problems will probably get ironed out in the future.
So you can say, put an instrumental here, or I want an instrumental guitar, and then I want instrumental, say, horns right after it.
Yes. You'll notice a lot of the later songs are longer than the first ones that I did, because I'm learning more with the AI as I go along, and I learned how to put instrumental parts in.
Gotcha.
And I really liked the trumpet parts of one of the songs, and I kept doing that. I kept putting, do instrumental trumpets here.
Yes.
Or one of them has a piano break, I think, and I put that in deliberately. But like I said, sometimes it just won't. Sometimes I'll put instrumental in, and it just won't. Just won't have it. It's very strange. It is like I said, it's like arguing with a real band, and they're just like, no, we're gonna do it our way. We don't care what you say.
Lead singer's got a drug problem. The bass player's
it's the AI version of that. Yeah,
arguing with his girlfriend. Yeah. So the thing is, first of all, my personal music collection is so schizophrenic. It's not even. I mean, I have everything you can possibly imagine, and I listen to it all, but the predominant interaction I have with AI, I mean, and I think we've chatted a little bit about this. I do create the show descriptions in AI because I SEO optimize them. And, you know, SEO is not a language that was created for humans. It was created for the search optimization engine.
Oh,
So, you know, like if I was to meet somebody at a party and they said, hi, and I was introducing myself, I would not say, hi, I'm Tom Gulley, recipient of the first David Letterman Scholarship, former. I wouldn't say that, you know, but SEO requires you to. So when I write the show descriptions for YouTube, which is, they're a little bit vestigial. In other words, by the time you found the show, you either came here because you've heard it before and liked it, somebody recommended it, or it popped up in some sort of search because of the things in the description. You didn't come there for the description. It's backup. It's once you get there. If I read this, fine, now I'm a little more informed. But I'm doing it to be higher in, you know, the search. I do that because it's a computer talking to a computer. I figure if I ask AI to search engine optimize it for me, it knows the parameters of search engine optimization. I can do that manually. I do in my regular job. It's a pain. Why should I have to mess with it? But even though I've done probably the last 200 shows that way, AI will change the format out of nowhere. It did it today. I'm like, where's the show title? Why are you deviating from the format?
It's just decided to do something else. Yeah.
Exactly. And I also do a lot of graphics for social media with AI. And you don't know how many times I've gone, that image is perfect, except the man has only 3 fingers. Will you please put 4 fingers and a thumb on? And it just won't do it. Not for anything. Or sometimes I'll have a headline on it, and it'll just change the headline into words that don't exist in the English language. And nothing I can do will undo that. I have to start over. It's like having a super talented autistic kid. It's like it can do amazing things, but you have to what's that story, The Monkey's Paw?
Wish. Yeah.
If you don't tell it to do exactly what you want, you'll get something really messed up.
There's a feature on ChatGPT that's been there for a while now, and it's when you're making images, you can use like a paintbrush over the image and tell ChatGPT to change that particular part of the image, and it does not work at all. I don't even know why it's there because I've never seen it work. I've never had it work. And the thing with AI is you kind of need to talk to it in positives. If you tell it negatives, then it'll put that in it. It's like if you say, I don't want 3 fingers, it's then going to give you 3 fingers because it doesn't understand the negative part of that sentence. So it's seeing you say 3 fingers. It's not saying I don't want 3 fingers or I do want 3 fingers. It's just seeing 3 fingers, and now it's going to give you that. That's the problem. You have to be like really specific. It is talking to an autistic child. Yeah,
super specific. Now, I think some people may have a misconception of what the first time I heard the term AI was actually for video games. It was, I used to play Medal of Honor. And I knew that if I went halfway down the street, that the German officer was going to come out and accost me. The next version of that game, the quote-unquote AI, got smarter about that. Sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't. It depended on what I did, blah, blah, blah. What is like the misconception, do you think, that most people have about what AI is and what AI is not?
It's a really nebulous term because AI has been around for, like you say, a long time, the 70s maybe. But AI in video games is a different thing because that's like it's not AI, it's scripting. It's when player does this, then enemy does this. That's not really artificial intelligence, is it? It's just input and output. And I suppose
that whole formula has gotten far more sophisticated, though.
Yeah,
I mean, it used to be really easy to fool. Now it's not. It's got much more sophisticated variables in it. But that's the first time I heard the term. I agree with you. I don't think it's that appropriate, but I imagine they are baking AI into that.
For sure. Yeah, I think the recent Halo game had AI. I think they are using video games to train AI. I don't know enough about how AI works in video games. I'm talking about the basic form of input-output AI,
right?
To really comment on it. But a lot of people do have this misconception about what it is, because it is such a catch-all term. That's the problem. You don't know how to really describe it. Well,
and it's learning always. And I've said this a million times. I'll just put this up on the screen. This is 1999. This is a thing called Kesmet. Well, I took it off. Thanks. This is a thing that was called Kesmet from 1999, and it could recognize human facial expressions and respond in kind. Like, it could smile, or it could frown, but it could recognize yours and react to it. And that's 1999. Now, I'm sure it did it horribly, if this image is any example. But I think AI is really great for some things. And some of them I think you're aware of. I believe AI can scan 10,000 chest x-rays and detect breast cancer with like a 99.99% accuracy. And it does it like in an hour or some incredible speed like that.
Much quicker than a human could, yeah.
Well, and much more accurately,
and more accurate than a human, yeah.
I'm all in favor of that. Now, I know the people whose job it currently is to do that probably don't like that. They're probably, hey, man, that's putting me out of work.
Yeah, they don't want to be out of a job, yeah.
But I think probably they would also have to recognize, oh, okay, well, that does it better than me. The issues that I have with AI, and I don't think they'll remain issues necessarily forever, although some of them I do think will remain issues, are the things that AI is taking over a lot of writing. AI sucks at writing. It's terrible at it. AI also, because it scrapes the internet for information, if you ask it a question about something, there's a 60% chance it's going to be wrong, the information in it. I was in a chat room of a show where somebody, well, you're from the UK. I don't know if you know who James Mason was. He's a famous British actor back in the day. James Mason, yes.
yeah.
Anyway, somebody said he was great in Casablanca. And I went, James Mason wasn't in Casablanca, Chief. You're probably thinking of Claude Rains. And he goes, no, I just checked it out on ChatGPT. I looked it up. Was James Mason in Casablanca? It said he was. And I'm like, that is so basic. That's terrible. And so those are the problems that I have with AI right now. I don't think those will remain problems, but I do think that the English language is it's one of the hardest languages of all the languages. And there's just so much nuance, and I don't think it's very good at it right now. If I was a photographer or I was an illustrator, I would hate AI for two reasons. Number one, it's put me out of business for no money. Number two, it's stealing. Can you talk a little bit about AI being a stealing thing?
AI and theft. Well, yeah, like you said, it scrapes all of its information from the internet, but where is it getting this information from? Because the internet isn't written by robots, it's written by people.
Right.
So I'm assuming from certain websites and stuff like that, where it's getting its incorrect information
Right.
from, or it's just making it up.
Sure. I think we all know the internet is not always accurate.
Well, yeah. I have the same problem, and I agree with you entirely with the about writing, because I notice it's like I know it's funny that you call me the music producer, but I don't know a lot about music. I am quite, my tastes are quite basic and stuff like that. So when I hear these AI songs, I'm like, oh yeah, that's really good. But an actual musician will probably listen to them and think, wow, that is obviously AI, and they could probably like really listen to all the problems in it and stuff. But when I see writing, because writing is my thing, I immediately see how bad it is when ChatGPT tries to write a story or something like that, and you're like, this is terrible, and it's obviously stolen from somewhere else. It's not it doesn't come up with these things out of nowhere, so it's obviously stealing these ideas from somewhere and then just kind of smashing them together and trying to come up with what it calls originality. I suppose an argument to that would be that's exactly what human beings do as well. Like you say about photographers or illustrators and stuff like that being out of work. I actually have a story about that, because years and years ago, you see this little picture on your screen of the wizard.
Yes.
That's actually a Dungeons and Dragons character, because I like to play D&D.
Right.
That's my D&D character, and years ago, before AI, I tried to get a couple of pictures from artists of this little wizard character, and I told them exactly what to draw, exactly what to do, and exactly how it should look. One of them came back quite quickly, and it was just bad, and I couldn't really tell the guy to fix it because I felt too bad about it. I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't, and it also cost quite a lot of money. The other one cost a lot of money, and the guy argued with me over it. He was like, oh, I don't want to do that because it's too similar to another character and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm paying you to do this for me, and you're arguing with me. I don't care how bad you think it is or how terrible my ideas are. I'm telling you, do it. And AI won't argue with you like that. And it also won't charge you money.
Well,
so,
AI is passive aggressive like crazy. It'll do something that it's not supposed to do or whatever, and you'll go, "Hey, man, sometimes I'll look up myself or the show on AI, and I have to correct all this stuff, and it'll be like, where did you get that? That's not accurate at all. You're right to call me out on that. I apologize. In the future,
that's so frustrating. Yeah,
it's like,
you're right to call me out.
Yes, you were right to keep me from defaming you at the drop of a hat. But and believe me, I used to work with illustrators and stuff, and it was expensive, and there was a real difference between a good one and a bad one. The people that would A, not argue with you, B, do what you wanted, and C, do it well, And now I feel like there is going to be a new generation of people, and I think you're one of them, that use AI better than other people. In other words, you may not be that illustrator, but you're able to get out of AI a superior product than other people can get.
Yeah, there's definitely incorrect ways of using AI. I think deceptively, like you've got all of these products now. I see them in YouTube videos of people going around like Walmart or whatever, and they're looking at all these Christmas products, tea towels, things like that, Christmas decorations and things, and they've all got AI art on them, and they're just being sold for regular prices, deceptively. You would think, when you buy wrapping paper for the same price as any other wrapping paper, that maybe it could be a bit cheaper if it's all just made by AI in 2 seconds flat. And somebody's just gone on, they've gone on ChatGPT and they've said, make me wrapping paper for Christmas, include gingerbread men and Christmas trees. And then the AI will slam out some crap, with gingerbread men with like massive feet, or Christmas trees with like 18 tiers to them or something, and they just won't look, and they'll just send that straight to print, send it straight to shop. Walmart will buy that and put it on the shelves, and then people are buying that, and it's like, if something's just that easy to make, maybe it should be cheaper, but it's not, and I find that very deceptive. I think most people do as well. Like, I would never try and pass off the music that I make as real music, because it's not. It's AI music. It takes a fraction of the effort, but the alternative is I learn how to play saxophone and trumpet. I learn how to sing like James Brown. I learn how to, edit music properly. I learn how to use auto-tune and play drums and,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing that is bugging me about AI is, and this is really arrogant, it makes non-creative people think they're creative. In other words, not so much in music, but especially, I come back to writing. Someone will write a blog article or a paper report and go, look what I did. And it's like, no. And I think it's dumbing down people as well a little bit, because there's two things. Number one, Apple and all these companies that are being sued now, the AI companies, by the New York Times and all these people that created the content that they're using, be it pictures or actual information from articles, they didn't have to research that. And my job for 40 years has been, be it in advertising or as a news anchor, I have to personally research everything that's in my story. I can't just take AI's word for it, because that's how people get sued. And whether it's kids in college or people in business, it's making them dumber. It's like, you, number one, didn't have to go and find out the facts yourself. You didn't have to think about it, and you certainly didn't have to write it yourself.
It's because I agree, but there's this argument, I'm sure years ago, I'm pulling this out of nowhere. I imagine when the calculator was invented, then people would be like, oh, you're using the calculator, that's not real mathematics. The calculator's going to dumb everyone down, but it didn't really. I agree, though, with AI. I think AI is different from the calculator because it has many more functions. It's not just adding up numbers. You can do it. You can use it to do anything, really. Like, also, it's the limits of your imagination. So,
well,
I see it firsthand. People...
we always had the abacus.
Oh, of course.
And so. Yeah. And believe it or not, I was around for the birth of the calculator those days when a calculator was the size of a brick, and it cost $600 in the early to mid 70s. And there was that one rich kid at school that had a calculator, and oh, wow. But I don't remember anybody saying that'll make you dumber, because you weren't really allowed to use it on tests and stuff. I mean, you could probably use it on your homework, but we all
can't stop you. Yeah,
we looked at it as, this is the greatest thing ever, because we could all add, subtract, multiply, and divide. But there's other, I think more elaborate things that are more multi-stepped, or that it just. Humans don't have to do it anymore. I see my social media posts outperform AI times 10. I've done the A/B testing and stuff, and there's one reason and one reason only. I'm a human. I know how to talk like a human, and AI is terrible at persuasion. It's good at regurgitating information in terms of presentation. It's terrible at the actual facts, which is a problem, but it's really bad at persuading people. It's terrible at that, because it's just not human. You can tell AI, write this in the style of Ernest Hemingway. You can say, write this in the style of Shakespeare. You cannot say, persuade a person and have it do that effectively?
I wonder if that's part of like a safety procedure that they have. If it doesn't want to do that because of some kind of ethical reason, it thinks you might be trying to scam somebody.
I think it's because, like, say for instance, I want to persuade you to buy let's see, something, a certain kind of hiking boot. The things that make human beings attracted to a product are not confined to the benefits of a product. In other words, AI might be able to figure out, okay, more sturdy, more rugged, easier on your feet, more ergonomic, all that stuff. There's a lot of people who buy Apple computer just because of the design and how cool it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's pretty much their entire customer base.
Well, and so that type of stuff, AI can't figure that out. And so now you're on a commodity basis when you're trying to persuade somebody. And so if you're saying, well, it's sturdy and it's got this steel reinforced toe and it's got, extra strong shoelaces and all that, the person looking at it's like, well, all of them have that. Why should I buy yours? And so that's what I mean by persuasion. But what do you think the chief benefits of AI are?
It's great for so many things, like you said, the medical fields, things like that. It's really useful for translation as well, getting across. I mean, you don't really need AI for that, but it has helped a lot in translating messages from one language to another. Artistic stuff, when it's not used to scam people or deceive people, it really is, as far as your imagination can take it. You can do so many things with it, but it is this double-edged sword where it's so good, but at the same time it's so bad when it's used incorrectly, and you can't stop it. There's no going back now. Pandora's box has been opened. There's no going back to a point where we didn't have AI. We can't stop it. So we just have to live with it now, and people are just going to have to become more aware about their purchasing decisions. If they hate AI so much that they can't possibly interact with it in any way, AI worked on this book cover, that means I can't read the book, things like that. And if that's fair enough, if that's what your opinions are towards it. But I think a lot of people probably jump the gun on it a bit too much to ride the hate train. We all hate AI because of this and that, without thinking of the positives, or the other way around. We love AI and we won't think of the negatives. But yeah, it is really just limited by your imagination. That's it. There's so much that's good with it and so much that's bad with it.
Well, the other thing is, like, my YouTube descriptions. I've had to coach it and coach it and coach it and coach it to get it to even be, okay, this is acceptable to me. People don't factor that in either. It's like, you can't just tell it to do something and expect it to be perfect. You do actually have to teach it to create what you want. We have a bunch of remarks in the chat room here. Chef is here. He's wonderful. He's in one of your songs. Thank you for doing that. Abracadaver says it starts with a YouTube description and it ends in a digital hellscape. What, my show? James Mason wrote Siege. I did not know that. The Turbospurg manual. I don't know of these things. Dark Lelit. Hey, Lelit says, I've seen people brag about what the AI drew as if it was something they painted on a canvas.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. That wasn't you. That was the AI.
I believe it. Sky says people that buy Apple are for looks are complete idiots. Apple has a distinct design sense, not only in its advertising, but in the product itself. And there's some people that like that. And I'm one of those people. Look, here's my take on Apple versus Windows-based stuff. Apple wants to maximize me and what I want to do. Windows wants me to maximize the computer. You know, there's things about a Windows computer, and I use both extensively, that I shouldn't have to learn. I shouldn't have to invest myself in that. Whereas Apple will go, there are some things that are not in the right place. Would you like me to put them in the right place? Yes, boom, done. Windows will say uneven integer agreement. I shouldn't have to learn that. Tim Jenkins says you can go into personalization and get it to only give proven facts and not the nonsense just to make you feel good.
That's a very good point. That's something I've found out, and it's definitely a learning curve with AI. There is a learning curve. I go back to the calculator. You know, calculators are quite easy to use. You know, you do 3 + 7 and you get 10. But there are scientific calculators now where they have coincide and all this other stuff, you know, factorization or graphs even, I don't know. But it's the same thing with AI. Like I'm watching House of Cards at the moment, the Kevin Spacey one. It's really good. And I like to ask ChatGPT about every episode after I watch it, just so it can summarize for me if I missed anything, you know. And it'll just come up with complete nonsense. It'll say, during that episode, this woman slept with Frank or whatever, and it's like, that didn't happen. What are you talking about? And what you have to do is you have to specifically tell it to search the internet first. Go, search the internet for this House of Cards episode, season 2, episode 5, whatever. And then it'll give you the correct answer, because it's actually reading it from the internet instead of just making it up. And it's so weird that that's a thing in the first place. Like, why... When I'm asking you something, I don't expect you to just make things up. I expect you to actually fact-check them beforehand. But even then, it's still reading from the internet, which might be wrong. So
exactly.
Yeah.
There's things about me that it says did a show on this, appeared on this program. It's like, never did a show on that, never appeared on that program. And I'm like, where are you getting this? How are you? There's nobody on earth that would have ever said that I was on Rawhide, a 50s American Western TV show. No one even as a joke would have written that.
But it's like, where's it getting this from?
Exactly.
Why is it making that up?
It's got to get it from somewhere. AI, more like, oh, come on, stop it. AI, actually Indian. Well, I don't know about that, but the other thing about AI that I've noticed is trends. For a while, everybody on Earth had to have a bubble pack action figure of themselves. Do you remember that? About a year ago, it started where it looked like they were a toy hanging from a spindle.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Oh God!
Oh,
it
that
just
was
drove me
wonderful.
crazy. So there was that trend, and then now I've noticed 2 things. The latest one are fake court cases on video, where it's man sued for mowing neighbor's lawn. And it's clearly AI, but it's done really well because those courtroom cameras are so bad that you can't really tell that well. Another thing I've noticed is I like a lot of true crime. And I watched a true crime story last night. And of course, I'm inquisitive and always looking for stuff for the show. And I looked up the names in the story. The only place those names exist in the universe are for that video and its iterations on, YouTube, Daily Motion, Vimeo, TikTok. It's not a real story. Somebody made it up, but it's done in that style enough that you're like, oh, that's. If I didn't look that up, I would have thought it was a real story. And I'm noticing that more and more now too, is that things that they might be a good story, an interesting story, but they're not a real story.
Yeah, it's so strange, and it's all just to drive engagement. At the end of the day, it always is just money. It's always to try and get money, to get views, to farm more income, and it's so strange that somebody would try and pass off a completely fictional story as a true crime story, and the only way that you would know that they made it up is by searching afterwards in your own time. Otherwise, you would just go on believing that forever. It's horrible. It's a really insidious way of using a technology, but at the same time, how do you know anything is real? And we're talking before. I don't want to sound shamanistic here, but pre AI, there's no way for you to really verify that any news story is real when you think about it. Have you dropped something, Tom? My cat just knocked an Xbox controller on my foot, and it really hurts.
Yeah, hold on. Hold on. Dropped the ring of destiny. I was fiddling with it, and it fell off my hand. Well, I'm a news anchor, so I can always verify a story.
Yeah, but can you for real? Could you really?
Oh, yes.
No, you can't, Tom. You can't. It's like, have you ever been to the Netherlands?
I have.
You have. Where's somewhere you haven't been?
Oh gosh.
Antarctica, let's say. I'm assuming you've never been.
I've never been to Antarctica. I've been to the Arctic Circle on the northern side, but I haven't. I mean,
could you completely verify that Antarctica is a real place if you've never been there and you've never seen it in real life? It's like, I know it does sound a bit shamanistic to
yeah,
be like, oh, how do you know? But
I mean, if I really had to, I could always go there. But I think there's probably enough empirical evidence to prove that yes, it really exists. I don't think that there are enough. Especially back in the day, I don't think there's enough Hollywood magic that could have made all of the video and the documentation of the trips that they took there. In addition to the many things I know about Antarctica, in Antarctica they bury these hockey puck like pieces of metal every few distances in order to keep, because Antarctica is largely ice, and so large parts of that continent sort of shift and drift, and they have to have these in order to keep their geographical, center, if you will. And you can pull those out of the ground when they're done, and they bring them back here. They sell them. I don't know. I could probably verify that.
Probably prove it, yeah.
It would be costly to go to Antarctica just to prove that it exists.
To prove that it exists. But it's the same thing with AI. It's like it's really difficult when AI is around to be able to truly verify anything, if anything's real, if anything's fake, and that's one of the real big problems with it.
Well, here's the thing, and I was just about to ask you about this. Neil deGrasse Tyson, who I'm not always crazy about, but whatever.
No.
Neil deGrasse Tyson said that by the year 2030, people will be unable to believe anything that they see on the internet.
See, I think we already are getting to that point, because we see... you see these videos, like the one that I saw a while ago was a really fat woman on a zip line, I think it was, and she falls off the zip line like 300 feet onto the ground and just bounces and rolls away. And, it looks realistic, but obviously people don't bounce when they fall 300 feet onto solid ground. But there were, seriously, people in the comments going, is this real? Is this real? Where did this happen? You'd think she would have died from that, stuff like that. And then there's other times when you get videos that are obviously real. They were filmed in 2005, or something like that, and people will just immediately go, "This is AI. This is fake. This didn't happen." So people are already there. They're already.
They for years Like you see some crazy confrontation on an airplane, and the only people on the plane that you can really see are the stewardess and the person that's being a jerk and the person behind them. And you're like, is there no one else on this plane? And you'll see 10,000 comments of people going, that woman needs to be kicked off of every flight forever. And I'm like,
yeah.
Don't you get it that that's a setup? That's not real. And man, do they think it's real? Shamanistic, you say.
Yeah.
You've coined a new phrase, shamanistic. That cat playing the cymbals on the porch was real, though. It happened to me.
That happens to me all the time, yeah. That's what my cat does.
Chester. Tim Jenkins says, if you mix AI with metahuman, you can make a virtual version of yourself now, Tom. Well, Neil deGrasse Tyson stole my bicycle. There is a virtual version of me, actually. There it is right there. That's
Robo Gulley.
It's Robo Gulley, which also Leon created just for this show.
I did. It took literally 5 minutes to make that. That's where we are with AI. Originally, I put, can I have a picture of Tom Gulley as the Terminator? But it wouldn't do it. It said, I can't do that because of guidelines or whatever. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why we're not allowed Tom Gulley as the Terminator. It wouldn't explain that, so I just said make him a robot. And
I already look too much like the Terminator as it is.
Exactly like Arnold, yeah.
But that gets into the whole idea of AI slop. You know, all these, oh God, they do them on every topic. If we want to go back to football, soccer, as we say here in the United States. And by the way, you guys started that term, not us. You guys invented the word soccer. You had Soccer Saturday, and oh yes, it's short for Association Football.
Oh,
we didn't invent it. So I watch these videos that are obviously, it's got that one guy's voice that's kind of, the 1999 World Cup he's on every single AI video. And then it's just mostly photos. Some of them have been lightly altered, I guess, to avoid copyright. But the greatest player in Arsenal history is Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry? Oh, you must mean Thierry Henry. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't pick up on the...
and there's tons of those. It just absolutely tons of those. And it's the slop, too, that kind of keeps repeating the same, not identical sentence, but it might as well be the same sentence. You know, thought to be one of the greatest in the world, Thierry Henry won the World Cup with France in 1998 as one of the people thought to be the greatest in the world. And it's slop. It's just nothing. And halfway through, you're like, forget it. I'm done.
Yeah, just made the quickest and laziest way possible to get views, to get engagement, to ultimately get money. That's what it is. People see this and they see like, oh, it's such a quick and easy way to make money. But hopefully, I know it's doubtful. Hopefully, more people have more common sense to realize when something is fake or when something is AI. Because I think it would be possible maybe to pass off an AI painting as a real painting and fool legitimate artists with it.
I don't disagree with you one little bit.
Yeah.
Now, let's see here. Abracadabra says, I prefer Frankengully, which wasn't AI generated. No, it wasn't. But there are some AI generated Frankengullys, but the best Frankengully is not AI generated. It's Photoshop. Dark Lelit says, there's this weird trend, and I've noticed this too, of AI videos giving recaps of movies, and for some reason, all of them refer to the main character as Jack, no matter what the movie is. I've seen those. And Everyone say goodnight, Gracie. Good night, Gracie. See you later, Chef.
Good night, Gracie.
Luckily, though, we have these people. The AI Safety Summit, which you see Kamala Harris there in the middle. So I sleep safer knowing that we have the Safety Summit.
I don't know what they're going to do, but hopefully yes.
Can you talk a little bit about, because I don't think a lot of people know about this part, and that is sort of the environmental or planet impact of AI?
I'm not fully knowledgeable about this myself because it was something that has only sort of really become a talking point. And you see all these, like on the news, all these data centers and stuff out in, wherever. And I don't know what the cost on the environment really is with AI. I'm assuming like a lot of people using it all the time to make slop is probably costing something. You don't get stuff like this for complete free. It's got to be costing some form of energy. But
well, it's the water.
Yeah, I've heard that, but I don't really understand what's going on. I'm not educated enough.
The amount of energy that it takes to power all the servers and the various computer apparatus to do AI requires a ton of water for cooling. And water is more and more every day becoming a precious commodity as there's less and less clean water. Anyway, that's one of the environmental impacts of it that people talk about.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to try and like throttle the usage on it so fewer people have access to it, and they can't just endlessly generate crap. Because I'm assuming something like me that uses it very scarcely just to make silly songs or silly pictures is probably not costing a great deal environmentally.
Well, you had mentioned the kind of benign use of AI, but the fact that you mentioned it, I thought was really interesting. That it's here now, and there's no going back. There's absolutely no going back. And one of the things that struck me about AI is how fast every business, every government, everything jumped onto it. It was like, are we not going to kind of test this a little bit? Are we not going to set some boundaries for it? Are we not going to say, okay, this industry, we're going to go crazy with AI? Look, I like AI being used for like missile guidance systems or missile defense systems or doing things that the human mind or the human body could never process, and not, with any degree of accuracy. It's kind of like Data on the Enterprise. It's like, no, Data, let him navigate the ship. He'll do it faster and better.
It's in good hands. Yeah.
Yeah. But I look at something like this that you did, which is just brilliant. And you got big sighted Google in the world. Jesse's right again. Pervitine stock prices going up. That's funny. This to me is, and I don't know how long it took you to do this, but this is an excellent use of AI, because to get that photo, okay, would be invasive. And I kind of like the average person not having to hire. I mean, if this was an album cover, and it kind of looks like it's supposed to, like an album cover from a 70s band or something.
That's why it's got the Wizard Records sticker on the bottom. Yeah.
Of course, all of them do. They're great.
They do, yeah.
That shot right there, I can tell you from working in advertising, oh my God, you'd have had to have had art directors and prop creators, and you'd have had to have weathered that newspaper and get the coffee cup stain and all the usage on it. That's a $10,000 photo when it's all said and done.
I was actually thinking exactly the same thing the other day, like what the amount of effort, and this is something that I think most people would probably say is relatively easy compared to a song. Like the amount of effort that I would have to put into making a legitimate Tom Gulley song would cost thousands, and most people probably wouldn't think of that for a picture. But when you put it like that, yeah. And I mean, all it is a napkin on a newspaper, but I would have to get a napkin, I would have to get the coffee stain, I would have to, write happy to be here with the little smiley face, I'd get a newspaper with the correct headlines somehow, I'd have to print my own, weather it, put it on a table, get all the correct lighting, get it all lined up properly. It would take forever.
Dude, you'd have to get that coffee cup with the stain on the far side. You'd have to go source out the microphone and what looks like a remote control in the case. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Definitely not. No. Most people would think it is, but no.
No, that's what we call a tabletop shot. I mean, that's lit from what looks like to be one. That would be, it doesn't look like it, but that would be amazingly difficult to light because most of the shadow is going down and slightly to the right. And that's not easy to do without like blasting it out with light. That's a difficult shot to do.
No, I would never get that in my apartment. There is no way I could replicate that well. I could try, but I don't think it would be anywhere nearly as good.
I also like how the coffee cup appears to be the exact diameter of the ring. There's a little bit of a size dimension thing. If that's a normal napkin, that's a tiny coffee cup, but you don't think of that when you look at that.
The same thing on the Night the Spiders Attacked on that album cover. I think the coffee cup is really small as well, but it's funny that you mentioned that because that was actually one of the original mistakes with the picture. I was working on it and then I noticed it was the stain actually. The stain was way too big and the coffee cup was way too small, and I thought, that doesn't make any sense. So I had to persuade ChatGPT to make the cup to make the cup and the stain the same size, which it did. It was actually very hard to get the smiley face looking correct as well.
Yeah.
To describe the little pointy things, no matter what I said, it wouldn't do that. So I had to say the eyes are the mathematical signs for more than and less than, for it to do that. I mean, I could have done it on Photoshop, but
Let's see. The Israelis have problems with their defense missiles coming back at them. Come on, you guys lay off the Israelis. Julian Caesar says, a week ago, hackers, AI companies, released Spotify's entire catalog. AI music going to get a lot more diverse once models digest all those tunes. Probably, but then again, those the AI companies are getting sued like crazy, mostly over photography. Certainly, the New York Times and stuff are suing them because they're going, you're using our content. We paid to create it, and you're stealing it. And just because you're training your computers with it and outputting it in a different form or fashion, you should have to bear the burden of that cost. You should have to get teams of people, typing facts into your prompting system or your LLM. The people that are really getting screwed, though, are the photographers, because it's really taking photography and just modeling it back. So the photographer that created that original shot, are you using their exact work? No, you're not. But that's what you've taken and used to create, what the output is. And, someone could say, hey, I could go and take that same photographer's shot and the framing and the, composition, and I wouldn't get sued. And it's like, yeah, but you're not using it. You would have to do the work to make that happen. AI doesn't have to do the work to make that happen. They just go, beep, it's mine now.
Yeah, like how do you determine the copyright over something like that as well? And how do you even prove something like that? You know, if you take a photo of something and then the AI takes that photo and makes something else from it, is that legally yours now, or it's so difficult to say. And I don't know how all these lawsuits are going to pan out. Because
Oh, I know how they're going to pan out. The AI companies are going to pay them, and that's going to be the end of it.
Probably,
it's going to be, okay, well, here, we'll give you some money for letting us do that. But there's all sorts of jobs out there right now where people are just training AI. Like it says it's a writing job, but it's not really a writing job. You get there and all you're doing is writing prompts or writing reactions to prompts for AI. That's all you do. It's not like a traditional writing
job. Yeah, I've seen people say like, "Oh, Hollywood films won't need writers anymore. They won't need to pay writers because they can just use AI to write films." It's like, no. If you know anything about writing, you know that AI can't write films. No way. Yeah.
No.
It's not going to happen, but maybe writers will become cheaper. I don't know.
They always used to say if you put 100 monkeys in a room for 100 years writing with typewriters, one of them would eventually write Shakespeare. I feel the same way about AI. I don't think that probably AI can create really great art in terms of literature or screenplays or any of that on a regular basis at this point. But I think that if you just kind of turned it loose for long enough, yeah, you might get one or two random accidents, accidents.
Because it's going to drag everything from all the knowledge that it has, so it's going to pick apart different movies and put them together and eventually come up with something good. But that's what humans do as well. So humans, incidentally, maybe they might not even mean to, will plagiarize things and pass it off as their own, and there's nothing malicious behind it. Everyone knows that's how art is made, is by theft. The AI is doing the same thing, but yeah, I don't think writing jobs like that are in any danger. Seeing the quality of writing that AI gives, it is a monkey typewriter situation for sure. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things that technology came along and kind of killed the industry, but the very high end of it is still, for instance, shoes. It's like, or even cars. Automation came through, and cars are now made on an assembly line, robots, etc. But they're still Ferraris, which are largely handmade, top of the line. You know what I mean? The high end of anything still exists. It's not gone away. It's never going to. There's other examples of that, of whole industries that were basically wiped out. But there's still a guy somewhere, or that higher echelon of people that still makes handmade fill in the blank that are seen as the very best, and it hasn't been killed. And I did like your point in your email to me about drum machines killed drumming, and that I think that's true to a large extent. I think that there's always going to be humanity's need to see humanity. In other words, would you go to a concert theater to see a computer on a pedestal perform a concert for you?
Yeah, exactly. That's the way that I was thinking of it as well. Like, when somebody invites you to go and see their child play the piano or whatever, an 11-year-old child play the piano, you're not going there to hear something amazing, but you're going there to see how skilled the child is or how much they enjoy playing the piano or just to support them. But when you see the AI play piano, it can play Liszt or Chopin or Beethoven perfectly, it can do all of this, but so you wouldn't pay money to go and see that, would you? You wouldn't feel like an emotional investment towards the computer playing the piano. It's just an MP3 sat on a desk. Yeah.
What do you think about and I'm starting to see a little of it, and I know it probably sounds like I'm anti-AI. I'm not really. I'm pro appropriateness of tool. I was never anti-Photoshop. I'm like, no, it's a tool. You use it
it's
where
a tool.
it's
That's what
appropriate.
AI is. Yeah, it's a tool. Yeah.
Photoshop can't design an ad. It can make an ad look better. It can make it easier to design that ad. I still, when I design ads, do thumbnails. I wrist them out. I draw them on a 3x5 card and do the design of them that way, and then I replicate it on Photoshop. But we're starting to see, not a ton, and we're probably more reading articles about the notion that the more pervasive AI becomes, the more being humanly distinct will be an advantage. In other words, AI kind of commoditizes things. The fact that a human did this, and therefore it's more real or it's less manufactured, etc., that will start to become an advantage, sort of counter to AI.
Yes, humanity as a commodity. Yeah, it's the example of somebody taking a photograph of you or somebody painting like a beautiful full color portrait of you. Which one would you pay more money for? Because they're both the same thing. It's both a picture of you, but one of them actually has this human touch behind it. And I mean, to be fair, I don't want to be I don't want to put photographers down or anything. It's a different form of artistic expression, but it's not the same thing as learning to paint or painting something just completely amazing. And I've read a fair bit about artists in the past year, and there's so much that goes into a painting. Where they grew up, how they grew up, what their social standing is, what kind of paints they use.
What kind of brush?
What their relationship was at the time with, there's just so much, and obviously you don't get any of that with AI, really. There's a human behind it. It's like with the album cover, the Happy to Be Here. AI didn't make that on its own.
Right.
That was an idea I had. I thought, wouldn't it be cool if there was like a newspaper in the background with a coffee stain and a smiley face, and then I tried to get AI to make that, and as a test, I've done it before where I just ask the AI. I did it with the spider one. I just said, make me a picture of the night the spiders attacked, and what it came up with was absolutely awful. It was like this cartoon picture of about 100 spiders. All of them had a different amount of legs on a yellow backdrop, and it said like the night the spiders attache, or something like that. And that's what you get when there's no humanity behind it, when there's no artistic vision at all. But yeah, I don't know. Is there any human commodity behind an AI picture? It's all very philosophical at this point, isn't it? It's like the difference between photography or painting or AI. No real answer to it.
Photography is a great example because back in the day, you really taking a picture was a much more different thing. I mean, at a certain point, they came out with the Polaroid land camera and things that made it a little easier. But you had to worry about lighting, and the cameras had flash bulbs, these giant, horrible flash bulbs on them that smelled when there was a giant arm that stuck out, and this big, and a tiny little bulb that just lit up the whole room. And it had to do that, otherwise you wouldn't get a picture. Pictures were very difficult to take without a lot of light. And, composition was never good, things of that nature. As things progressed and cameras got better and we got digital cameras, the first digital cameras, they were pretty good. But then the iPhone and certain other cameras, now when you take a picture, no matter how well you compose it, what's going on in the photo, the actual thing that you take a picture of is pretty good. It's going to be well lit. It's going to show up with clarity. It's going to be in focus. Oh my God, focus was such a problem before.
Now it's just automatic, and you don't even think about focus now. It just does it on its own.
As is the lighting. I mean, it's everything's automatic. But it hasn't made people better photographers. When you see a really good photo, you know it instantly. And there's people that are better at it than others, even with the great technology that we have now. I go back to that. Have you ever, I did a whole show on Vivian Maier. And if you haven't seen the documentary, Finding Vivian Maier, this was a woman that was a nanny. And she took photographs on the streets of Chicago and New York and these towns that she was a nanny for these wealthy families for decades and decades and decades, and just never shared them. She had storage lockers full of them, hundreds of thousands of them, and she's a brilliant photographer. And this is back in the film days. And in much the same way, there are people who are good at taking photos. They understand drama and composition and waiting for the right moment and all of that, no matter how good the technology is. And I think that's the same with AI. The technology exists. It's there. Could the average person do this? I don't think the average person could. I really don't. There's so much detail here. There's so much going on, beyond just what you see on the surface. And it's been replicated to look like an album cover, all of it. I don't think the average person could do this. All right. I think some people can, but regardless of the technology, you have applied a degree of artistic merit to this that not everybody can do. I think it's the same as Photoshop or any other new technological tool. That is what's going to, be the difference.
Yeah, it's something that I had to actually think about and put real thought into. And like you say, most people just aren't going to do that. They're going to come up with the terrible spider album I was talking about with hundreds of cartoon spiders on it.
What would you say to the average person that is anti-AI, that just can't stand AI, doesn't want to have anything to do with it?
I really think they should try to use it as a tool, because I think a lot of people, the way that the reason that they feel so anti-AI is that they feel like it's cheating, or they're being cheated, or they're being tricked, or something like that. But you use it as a tool. You're supposed to use it, like you would any artistic tool. You don't expect Photoshop to make the whole thing for you without any input whatsoever. You don't expect the camera to take a picture for you without any input whatsoever. If you use it as a tool, if you don't use it to try and cut corners or cheat or deceive, anything like that, then you can use it to do so many things that you wouldn't have had access to before. Like we were saying with that picture, the amount of effort that it would have taken for me to do that, and it is literally a picture of a napkin on a newspaper, but it still would have taken ages for me to do that, or pay somebody to do it for me. And would we, to the people that are anti-AI, would you rather not have that? We could have nothing instead, right. Or we could have a really bad replication that I could try and make in my apartment. It's
right.
It's a tool. It's not trying to cut corners or cheat or get straight to the finish line. That's the real issue I think most people have behind the feelings, the anti-sentiment towards AI.
I think you're right in that if you use it, you gain an appreciation for it. If you do not use it, then it's just this mysterious thing that who knows, what it's all about. It's Big Brother, so to speak.
Yeah, it's that fear of the unknown. A lot of people just don't understand what it is, and of course, if you're exposed to negative parts of AI all the time, of course you're going to have a negative feeling towards it, because all you're seeing in news articles is like fake, annoying adverts that are AI slop, the pictures of cats that are yellow, or fake Trump stories or scams, and of course you're going to have a negative feeling towards it because all you're seeing are the negatives and not the positives. And it allows people to express themselves in ways that they never would. Like I'm saying, we wouldn't have that album cover if we didn't have AI. I'm not going to sit there and take photographs of a random napkin and a coffee cup for hours and try and get the lighting correct. It's just not going to happen,
There's fake Trump stories.
Probably no, they're all real, Tom. Every Trump story is true.
There's there's fake Trump stories. Let me see here. I've got a thing. I'll look at it real quick here that I did. I hope it's the one that I'm wanting. Daggone it. I went ahead and I made a chat GPT image, but then daggone it. I'm trying to find an image that I created from Chat GPT that then I went and September 26th. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. That I would never have been able to in a million years have created it without the use of Chat GPT. I just wouldn't have. It would have been impossible. Now, and I did it for work, and I, typically don't do stuff like that. I don't, have to. I don't have to. I have access to Adobe, stock. I have every photo I could ever possibly.
You could ever imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but in this instance, it came in super handy, and I was curious as to how it would turn out, and it ended up coming out just about exactly the way that I wanted it to. Okay, come on. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can find this real quick, because I'd get your opinion on it, whether I succeeded or failed. But, oh, come on. Give me a break here. Because, there's just certain things you can't, just tell it, hey, do this. Or you can't find a photo of Abraham Lincoln and Babe Ruth eating lunch together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to abandon this in a second. Oh, wait, maybe it'll be good to me here. Nope, it's really not cooperating very well. Plus, I have a sea of crap to sort through. Let me see here. 26. Oh, here we go. Bet you this is it right here. And, yep, this is. So, the Minnesota Vikings were playing a American football game against in Dublin. You know how they play the NFL games sometimes, and they played them in Wembley, they played them in Tottenham Snotspur Stadium, And so I made this. And, I just said, make it photorealistic, because if you don't tell it to be photorealistic,
it won't. Yeah.
It will make an illustration, and I don't want an illustration. I could show you the illustration one that it made, and I learned that. I had to learn that, that you have to tell it, make this photorealistic, because if you don't, then it will give you
whatever it wants. Yeah, it'll come up with whatever it feels.
Oh God, it'll give you this horrible thing right here, which I did not want. And it's like, oh, come on, man. That is awful.
4 fingers on the leprechaun.
Yes.
5 on the Viking.
Yeah. But this, I didn't even tell it to put the Minnesota Vikings jersey on the guy. I just said Minnesota playing Dublin in a sports bar with a leprechaun watching and some fans. And that turned out to be awesome, even though, if you notice, the guy on the left in the background, is that not the same dude? Is that not the same bro man?
Same guy, yeah. They're also facing the wrong way. I assume there's more than one TV, but...
Yeah, there'd be more than one TV
There'd be a lot more people in there as well, but...
Yes.
It's like...
Yeah.
You scroll down Facebook or something, you wouldn't even think, would you, that that's AI? You just see it and just be like, yeah, there's a picture, and just carry on.
And in this particular bar, which is a big Vikings place where they watch all the games, and keep in mind, this game was going to air at 8 in the morning. So you got to be a Vikings fan anyway, and they're bringing out all the beer, they're bringing out all the breakfast foods, they're doing everything. It's a big deal. The kind of people that want to watch the game live from Dublin that morning, that photo right there, they went mental for it. It's for them. And I do love the level of specificity that it gives you. The ability to, could I have gone out and find some schmo with a neck beard and a thing and dressed him up like a Viking? And could I have found Sean O'Flynn somewhere in Minneapolis, 1,500 miles from where I live, and assembled that photo? Yeah, I could have done it. Yeah, it's conceivable.
Possible. Yeah, it's not out of the realms of possibility. But
to do that in 20 minutes, and it's only 20 minutes because I got the horrible, if I was doing a kid's book about a Viking, and that's...
Yeah, it has the yellow glow as well that AI art always does. That yellow. That's one way of identifying AI stuff, is that yellow color. It's on everything.
I can't stand the M dash. There's one thing really makes me mad about AI writing, and it's M dashes. It uses M. I've used M dashes for 40 years.
I use M dashes all the time when I write. Yeah, I always use them. Yeah.
And now you're suspected of AI, and a lot of people, and this really ticks me off, on LinkedIn will say, you should probably put a mistake or two in your writing just so people will know it's human. And it's like, I have been writing flawlessly for 40 years, and I'm going to start screwing it up because of AI? No,
that's
thank
the thing.
you.
It's part of the job description when you start, any language job is to be fluent and don't make mistakes. And now you're told that you have to make mistakes, otherwise people will suspect that you're a robot.
What's this say? Yeah, Tom, get it with dork, nerd, big head. I don't know what that means. I'm not disagreeing with it. This might be one of the people that I unblocked. Oh, by the way, tell all your friends, I unblocked a ton of people for Christmas, as I usually do. Now, there are a few, a handful that aren't getting unblocked. One of them might be shamanistic. I don't know. He might be unblocked as well. But well, hey, Wizard, is there anything else you'd like to talk about AI or?
I think we've covered most of the things, Tom. I think we've had a good discussion. It's late here. It's nearly 1:30.
Oh my God.
I need to go to bed and watch House of Cards.
Well, do that and stay up way too late. Drink a lot of Red Bull and things. And
I already have. I've already drunk a lot of Red Bull today.
Well, first of all, I appreciate you doing the show. But second of all, I can't tell you how much I love all of this music you've created. I can't thank you enough. If you never have time to make another song, you've done so much as it is. I'll mention again in the description, you can go to SoundCloud. All of those songs are there and available. Can they download them or?
Yes, I made them available for download. I think it still needs updating. I think I'm missing a couple of songs that I forgot to put on there, but I should put them on after this if I remember. But yeah, they can download them. Yeah, they're perfectly free and everything.
Okay, I don't. Yeah, well, thank you. I'll let you go, and then I'll screw up the end of the show, and then I'll end it.
I'll see you, Tom. Hopefully, I'll be able to come on again at some point, so we can talk
anytime you want. You can be on tomorrow if you want.
Talk about Sherlock Holmes or something that I know things about.
Well, then I'll do a show on Sherlock Holmes, but I've got to do it. Hey, you know what? Why don't we make that a weekend show? So it's on at an hour that's easier for you.
I honestly don't mind this time. I'm normally busy on the weekends. Sometimes I'm not, but it totally depends. You know, we can set something up a week before, and I'll probably know.
Well, hey, look, dude, I'll do a show at 9 a.m. Whenever you need to. During COVID, I would do weekend shows at 9 a.m. so people from the UK wouldn't have to stay up until 1
I don't mind it. I'm up late anyway because I'm not at work at the moment because the schools are closed. So it doesn't bother me, and I've been going to bed at like 4 o'clock at the moment. So I'm trying to fix my sleep schedule for when I go back to work.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate all the music and the artwork.
Yeah, I think I'm done for the moment with songs. Maybe I'll sneak out another one at some point, but I've run dry on inspiration. I was spending so much time on them, Tom. I was sitting there for hours. Hours trying to get these songs out.
I'm sorry. Well, they're all great. I got plenty to use. Don't worry about it. And again, thank you, and Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. I'll see you in the new year, Tom.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Right,
bye, everyone.
God, that's the great Leon Kennedy. Man, I can't tell you just how much I appreciate that guy and all he's done for us. I don't know what tomorrow's show's about. I don't know if I'm going to do Tomapalooza again this year on New Year's Eve. I'll get it all figured out tomorrow. I do have my new monitor. Thank you. It's right here. And but go to SoundCloud. The link is in our description on YouTube, and you can get all these songs. And if you get a chance, tell Leon Kennedy how awesome he is, because he is, and I appreciate it. But with all that being said, I'm looking at that old clock on the wall, and like the Reverend Al Green, I got to get up on out of here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And with all that being said, I am not AI. I don't care if well, I'm slightly AI, I guess. I think the only thing left to say is until we hear another banger tune from Leon Kennedy or two, till next time, we'll see you next time.
Early in the morning, daylight coming through. Coffee on the console, red lights next to blue. Got a voice that settles in, easy, calm and true. The man from Gulley next to you. He's got stories in the static, time in his hands, turning ordinary moments into things you understand. You know I'm happy to be here. Tom is thinking again. Got the chat leaning closer to hear where he's been. You know I'm happy to be here. Feel the calm he sends when he in the darkness till the break of dawn. The podcast king commands his mic next to him. Every little story finds a home within. Yeah, he's lining up the moments, going to town. Every pause feels human. Everyone gets down. You know I'm happy to be here. Tom is thinking again. Got a sound like a river, record starting to spin. You know I'm happy to be here. Let the day roll in. When his voice cuts through, you feel the world begin. We all can remember when the spiders attacked, laughing it off, then circling back. You dial G for Gully, and he'll ride on the waves. The show must go on, turning dark nights into days. You know I'm happy to be here. He's speaking again. From the first soft word, where do we begin? You know he's happy to be here. Let the good flows in. With a voice like that, we know where to begin. You know I'm happy to be here. We're all thinking again. Just a voice in the quiet till it feels like a friend. You know I'm happy to be here. The night rolls in to stay. They call him Mr. Gulley, and he's gonna lead the way.
Tom steps in shining, lifting spirits in the room. The wolf's already laughing with that friendly boom. Chef's in the kitchen, keeping everybody fed. Scott from Australia nods his bearded head. Rumble trench coat enters with a mystery to unfold. Tom brings the warmth, turning every moment gold. Once you go gully, you never recover fully. When the world feels unsteady, Tom will get you ready. Once you go gully, you'll never recover fully. Tom puts on the show, let the good times roll. The wolf keeps up grooving with that easy midnight sway. Chef spins a ladle like when leading cabaret. Scott from Australia brings the thunder to the floor. Rumpled trench coat squints like he's seen this all before. Tom hits the rhythm and the whole room starts to move. Every single heartbeat falling deeper in the groove. Once you go gully, you never recover fully. When the world feels unsteady, Tom will get you ready. Once you go gully, you never recover fully. Tom puts on the show, let the good times roll. Oh, hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. When the lights turn low, Tom keeps the moment bright, lifting every spirit